Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Foundations of Yoga. Yoga with Adele today is going to be looking at the revolved triangle pose. So the previous Foundations of Yoga video that we did, if you haven't had a look at that yet, last week was pyramid pose, and pyramid pose is the foundation for this pose. So if you haven't done pyramid pose, then I strongly recommend that you have a look at pyramid pose first, because that's going to help you to access the revolved triangle pose that we're going to do today. If you have got a couple of yoga blocks, then you may find those useful. If you haven't, then don't worry, you can always use a couple of books, sturdy books, and just stack them up. All you want to do is be able to bring the floor up to you a little bit. So let's get started. So you're going to place, I'm going to go this way first because I'm going to, actually no, I'm going to go this way first because I'm going to step my right leg back, and then it's going to allow me to show you the revolve to that side. So we're going to use our right leg first. So you're going to just put your blocks just somewhere towards the front of your mat. And first of all, stand with your feet hip distance apart. And remember, if you did the pyramid pose foundation, you want to look into how your feet feel. We spent a little bit of time on this last week, so I'm not going to go into it in too much detail. But just to say, to spread and relax your toes, to anchor down through the balls and the little toe, ball joint of the feet, the base of the big toe, the little toe, and the back two corners of your heel. So you want that nice, strong foundation. Just go ahead and soften your knees a little bit so you're not locking out your legs. So you don't want to be jamming your knee joints back. That's all I mean. So it's not a big bend. It's just a little soft micro bend in the knee. Just first of all, standing up nice and tall, pulling your shoulders back and relaxing your arms. So your hands should be just resting on the outer thighs here. You can see if I go this way. If you've got rounded shoulders and you've got a stoop and a slump in your back, your hands will be resting forwards like this. So pull the shoulders back, open the collarbones, and relax the arms down by the sides of the body. Press into your feet and just breathe here for a few breaths, just to center ourselves. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in and out. Feel the shoulders relaxing down away from the ears. One more deep breath, just like that. And out. Good. Now, bringing your hands to your waist, we're just going to slide the right toes back. So slide them back. Try and keep your feet roughly hip distance apart. So as you slide back, just check that you're not tucking behind with the leg and you're ending up wobbly on a tightrope. So if my feet start hip distance, I want to slide back in the same line. So if I do it this way, if you start hip distance, I'm just going to slide back in the same line, okay? Rather than tucking behind. That makes sense? So keep it in line with the hip. Then you're going to drop that back heel to the inside. So you're just going to spin the back heel slightly. So your heel may be roughly in line with your other heel. Or for some people, the arch of the back foot may be in line with the front foot. Or you may find you want none of it in line and you need a wider base. So when you get to this point, I want you to just check in. So once you drop that back heel down, I want you to just check in. How balanced and stable do I feel here? And then just go ahead and bend that front knee. So you're coming into a warrior one posture here. So front knee is directly over that front ankle. Back leg is straight. Now I just want you to check that you can press that back heel down comfortably. If not, you may have gone too far and took a big step back, and then you're finding that you can't drop that heel down. And then that's going to be a problem when you want to straighten this leg and hinge forwards. So I want you to just take that time to spin the back heel, maybe shorten your stance, shorten the distance between the legs. Keep your hands on the waist. And now, with that front knee bent, the back leg straight, so we're in a warrior one position, I just want you to feel for your hip bones. So these bones on the front of the hip in your position, I just want you to feel for those. Now, I want you to check that they're pointing and shining forwards like two headlights on a car. So what this is going to do is it's just going to test if you've spun your back heel too far and this headlight on the right hip is wonky and it's off, shining to the side. Because when we do a warrior two, we do open that back hip more. But for this pose, we want the hips pointing straight forwards. So just check in with that. Just going to straighten them out. Check in with your headlights. We're stretching the back leg and the front leg is bent. Okay, now just straighten your front leg and then rebend. Straighten the front leg and rebend. Let's do that 3 more times. Straighten, breathe in, and breathe out, bend. 2, last one, breathe in, straighten, breathe out, bend. Good. Now straighten, and then keeping your head and heart and hips in a nice straight line. So that means we're not starting to round the back. Remember last week's pyramid pose, engage your tummy and hinge forwards. Now come into that pyramid stretch. Here we bring our hands to our blocks. Check back in with your headlights. You want to check that that right hip is still shining forwards just as it was before. You may need to adjust your feet here. For some people, your back heel may have to lift and you just working on dropping that heel down. If you haven't got that back heel down, then I would try and shorten your stance for 1. I would lift your blocks to a higher level for 2 so that you're able to keep your back nice and long and drop that heel down. And then I would work with this pose and work with other hamstring openers before you move on, really. Okay, so with your hands on your blocks, now you're going to bring the block under the right hand. If I just move that one, you're going to bring that a little bit closer to this left foot. So you're placing your block, if I go this way, you're placing it next to the foot and you're going to drop your right hand onto your block. Okay, your left hand is going to go onto your back. So find this flat part right at the back of the hips and the pelvis here and just place your left hand onto it. Now you're going to start to turn and spiral through the back and you're looking to your left. So you want to roll this left shoulder, roll it back. So lead with your shoulder, roll it back and start to turn the spine. So I want you to turn from your spine rather than your pelvis. So keep the pelvis nice and square. And to do that, you want to be stopping that right hip crease from dropping too far forward. So as you twist, press the right hip back a little bit. It's a strong twist. So you may just wait here and then drop back forwards again. Breathe. Turn and twist. Looking up over that left shoulder and then spiral back to look down. Last time, turn and twist. This time, if you're feeling nice and stable in the legs and strong and that heel's dropping down, if you've got a good rotation in the shoulder, you should be able to reach that arm up. So what I see in class is people who haven't got the rotation in the shoulder, say the shoulder's forward like this, then try and straighten the arm. And the arm ends up over here somewhere and feeling probably not that happy. So if that's the case, I want you to work on keeping the hand down, lifting the chest, lifting the left rib cage, and rolling your shoulder back so that you open your body. Then lifting the arm is no problem. Yeah, so you want your arm to go straight up in the same line as the bottom arm. Okay, let's come back. and lift up. Press into the legs, power up, and step forwards and shake out. So I'm going to turn around. You don't have to do the other side. So let's set up again. Straighten the mat. Blocks at the front. This time you're stepping your left leg back. So feet start, hip distance, shoulders back and down. Breathe in, soften the knees, breathe out. Relax the neck, the shoulders. Breathe in for 2. Good, breathe out. Last breath in. And out. Hands to the waist, and we slide the left leg back. Remember, check your foot in. Drop that heel, just spin the back heel in slightly. Check that your feet are the right distance apart for you. Check you can press down through that back heel. Bend that front knee and check your hips. So has your left headlight gone off to the side, or is it still dropping forward nicely and your hips are shining forwards? Go ahead and straighten and bend that front leg 3 times. Straighten, breathe in. Breathe out, bend. Knee over ankle. Stretching the back leg. Breathing in, straighten. Good. Breathe out, bend. Last one. Breathe in, straighten. Breathe out, bend. Breathe in, straighten. Hinge from the waist. Keep the spine long. Keep the back heel down if you can. Nice flat back as we come forward. You'll start to feel a strong stretch. Remember your micro bend in your knee. Drop your hands to your blocks. So we're in pyramid pose. Want to check our hips are still nice and straight and level. We want to press that back heel down. Also want to press into the little toe side of that back foot. So there is a tendency for people to roll in here and collapse the arch on the left foot. So press into the outer edge and feel all those muscles in the leg on the outside edge. Switch on and fire up. Fire up your core, lift the belly a little bit. Now bring your block next to your right foot. So I'm just going to move that one out of the way. So the left hand comes down to the block. Again, you may have it on a higher setting and that's absolutely fine. Bring your right hand to the flat part of the spine. Just take a moment to lengthen your back before you twist. So that means lift your head and chest. And then remember, lead with your shoulder, roll your shoulder. At the same time, I want you to press your left hip crease back. So you're kind of stretching diagonally from the left hip crease to the right shoulder. Left hip crease goes back, right shoulder rotates, right ribs start to spiral towards the ceiling. Now we want to be able to peel the right arm up in the same line as the left arm. So I don't want my shoulder to be limiting my mobility and my arm to be out here somewhere and it feels awful. If it does, keep this bottom part of your arm bent. This is just the last bit, the icing on the cake. Think about it. Pull your right shoulder, lead with your shoulder, lead with your elbow. Once your elbow's reaching up to the ceiling, like a swimming stroke, we just add on that bottom section of the arm and we can turn to look up at that right hand. But we want to keep the neck nice and relaxed. So check that you're rotating your neck on its axis. The neck is part of the spine. Breathe. Excellent. Now bring yourself back down. Hand, elbow, shoulder. And bringing your hands back to your waist. Powering through the legs. Lifting up. Step it forwards and shake out the legs. Give them a little shake. Well done, guys. Namaste. I would love to hear how you've got on with this pose. It is one of the most trickiest poses, the revolved triangle. You have got to get that flexibility in the legs. It's going to increase flexibility in your legs for sure. It's definitely going to increase the strength and power in the legs. It's going to help with your feet and fallen arches and flat feet if you bring that awareness into your feet. It's also a twist. So twists are great for helping with our internal organs and our digestive fire. And it's also really good for spine health and spine mobility. And you've also got shoulder mobility in there as well, being able to rotate that shoulder and reach up. And you're working your core. So there's not a lot that's not working in this posture. You're even working your neck as you turn to look up at that hand when you add that on. Please take your time with this and just build up through those building blocks. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush to straighten the arm if your shoulder is tight. This will tell you that you need to add in some shoulder mobility into your routine. If you do want to work with me a little bit more and you want to come to one of my classes, I do have a space on my Monday evening class at the minute, which is all on Zoom. So you'd be very welcome to come along to that. Come along and try a session for free. Just let me know first, then I can get you set up with the details and the code and things like that. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel where new videos are released every week. And I hope to see you again soon on Movement Monday next week. Thank you so much. Please let me know how you got on and whether you were able to access the pose. Namaste. Bye for now, guys.